Good evening to our viewers. I welcome you to Mukanya TV. This is our third anniversary after the formation of the TV channel. And most of you out there would want to know why the name of Mukanya TV. What's the logic behind it? Mukanya TV is a brand television that I formed myself, Zoro Mataruka, and my friend Adolf Mukandi. We both share the same totem, which is Mukanya. So it was very easy to call it Mukanya TV. As we celebrate our third anniversary, with me today, I have my co-director, Adolf Mukandi, who will take us through the news and the brands, the strengths and the weaknesses, the challenges of Mukanya TV. I welcome you to Mukanya TV, and our viewers out there, as we celebrate our third anniversary, want to know what is Mukanya, as I've already explained. Can you take us through?
Thank you for having me, Mr. Mataruka. There, you have explained everything, but let me just add more, if you don't mind. I know you are a very generous young man. The name Mukanya itself carries cultural weight. It evokes the image of someone who observes carefully, listens attentively, and understands the rhythm of community life. It is not the voice of a distant observer, but of someone embedded among the people. That philosophy defines Mukanya TV. The name was chosen deliberately to feel familiar, grounded, and trustworthy. Mukanya TV is not about spectacle or noise. It is about presence and conviction. By the way, Mukanya means soko, yes, a monkey. The monkey is famous for sneaking into fields and harvesting crops it didn't plant. But Mukanya TV, we don't steal anyone's crops. We grow our own stories, water them with truth, and harvest them honestly. The only thing we borrow is attention, and we give it right back with laughs, culture, and storytelling delivered to your doorstep.
What challenges have your TV station faced?
The challenges have been many: sustainability, financial, emotional, and physical has been a constant test. Building a platform while balancing professional duties, family life, and personal obligations requires sacrifice. Perhaps the hardest challenge of all was silence. Times when effort did not immediately translate into visible results. Learning to work faithfully without constant affirmation became an important lesson in resilience.
At any point, did you ever think of giving up the station?
There were moments of exhaustion when giving up felt like the easiest option, but purpose has weight. Every time doubt crept in, something grounded the journey. A message from a viewer, a reminder of why the platform was created, or a quiet inner conviction that this work matters a lot.
Have you had any feedback from your viewers out there? What did they say?
Some of the most touching feedback has come from people experiencing grief, isolation, or uncertainty who say a program helped them feel less alone. Such messages are humbling. They deserve a reminder that media can be a companion and a source of comfort, not just a broadcaster of information.
Well, that is quite interesting. Very, very interesting, honestly. And it's very amazing to hear that you're getting such kind of comments from your viewers, which is, of course, is part of the growing up of the brand and the TV station itself. What is it so important? And what is it so special about bringing the news of Zimbabwe and Africa at large in this storytelling? And what is the strategy that you put in to try and show the people in the world and those in Africa as well what we have in terms of culture?
African and Zimbabwean storytelling is central because stories are not just entertainment. They are the foundation of identity, memory, and belonging. The way a people tell their stories determines how they see themselves and how they are seen by the world. When communities fail to tell their own stories, those stories do not disappear. They are simply taken over by others, often stripped of context, reduced to stereotypes, or told without empathy and respect. African experiences are layered and complex. They carry histories of resilience, struggle, faith, humor, loss, survival, and renewal. These experiences cannot be captured through a single narrative or a shallow lens. Mr. Mataruka, these require patience, listening, and cultural understanding. Zimbabwean stories in particular are deeply rooted in land, family, history, collective memory, and they deserve to be told with care and dignity. Mukanya TV approaches storytelling as cultural responsibility rather than a content exercise. Every story is treated as part of a larger archive of memory, something that must be handled with honesty, sensitivity, and respect. The aim is not to sanitize reality or sensationalize hardship, but to present lived experiences truthfully and humanely. By telling our own stories, we reclaim voice and agents. We correct distortions, preserve heritage, and pass understanding from one generation to the next. Mukanya TV exists to ensure that African and Zimbabwean narratives are told from within by those who know the language, the silences, the humor, the pain, and the hope. In doing so, the platform contributes not only to media, but also to cultural preservation and self-definition.
Who would you prefer probably to meet as part of your ambitions and present what we are offering to the world?
If I had the opportunity to choose my next interview, I would honestly say the president of Zimbabwe, Mr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, and not necessarily for the usual hard politics alone, but for the human story behind the office. I would want to talk to him about social and personal issues that people rarely get to hear about. Simple things: what food he truly enjoys, what makes him laugh, how he unwinds away from the demands of leadership. Zimbabwean cuisine is diverse and unapologetically authentic. We eat everything from sadza to mupani worms or matribi, and yes, even mice and harurwa.
Okay.
These are not just meals, they are cultural stories. Exploring such topics helps humanize leadership and reminds people that leaders come from the same communities they govern.
Okay.
From observation, the president comes across as humble, calm, and collected. Someone who is down to earth despite the weight of office. An interview like that would not be about trivializing leadership, but connecting governance to everyday life. Responsible journalism is not about asking hard questions. It is about understanding the reason behind the position. For me, personally, meeting and interviewing the president in that way would be the epitome of my journey at Mukanya TV, a moment where storytelling, culture, humor, and accountability meet. It would be an opportunity to show that serious leadership and human warmth can exist in the same space, and that journalism can inform while still allowing people to smile.
You all know that today the digital media comes with a lot of pressure going on, a lot of criticism, misinformation coming from different angles, algorithms. Tell me, how would you navigate these challenges?
Navigating the pressures of digital media requires staying grounded in values. Virality is never pursued at the expense of integrity. Trends are temporary, but credibility is cumulative.
I believe we have seen a lot of big publications, public newspapers, could be media, could be television stations being criticized, some being dragged down into courts and so on. So it's an issue of being very careful of what you're reporting and what you're saying. Tell me something. If you were to meet young viewers out there, young coming up journalists or hoping to be journalists, trying to come into the field itself, into the industry, what words would you give them, words of wisdom?
To young journalists and creators, the message is very simple. Respect your craft. Do not rush visibility. Build substance before seeking applause, and let your work speak before you do.
Thank you, Adolf. Thank you for the time that you have been with me to elaborate an understanding of Mukanya TV. Ladies and gentlemen, our viewers throughout the world, as you have heard from one of the co-directors of Mukanya TV, it's all about bringing you the best news you can ever imagine into this world. This is a television station which has been in all those secret areas, and they've produced the most unforeseen news. And this is the station that is there for you to provide what you want to know. This is the station that has been formed because on cultural backgrounds and trying to mold and present as much as we can in terms of the African culture, the heritage, the tourism, what Africa is. Our viewers throughout the world, for anything, area that you think might need publicity and the world to know, Mukanya TV is there to your disposal. All the news, all the information that you want to be known, feel free to get hold of Mukanya TV. Thank you very much, our viewers. Good night.